Why is it that some people walk into a room and command authority without saying a word, while others try desperately to be noticed and still fade into the background? In a world where attention is power, the ability to project unshakable confidence is the difference between leading and being led. Today, we uncover the most powerful trait of the truly confident, as revealed through the mind of Machiavelli. Power is not the roar of a lion. It is the lion's stillness before it strikes. Most people believe confidence is something you can see and hear: a loud voice, an upright chest, a smile that dares the world to challenge it. They are wrong. The loudest man in the room is rarely the most dangerous. He is the one trying to convince you, and himself, that he is in command. True confidence does not announce itself. It does not beg for recognition. It sits quietly, like a king who knows the crown is already his. You see, bravado is performance. It is fire that burns bright and then dies out. But control, real control over your emotions, over your actions, over your very presence, that is the foundation on which lasting power is built. A man who is truly confident does not need to win every small argument, because he is already playing for the war, not the battle. He will let you take the last word if it feeds your ego. He will allow you to believe you have the advantage if it makes you careless. His strength is not in defeating you quickly, but in watching as you defeat yourself. Control means you choose your responses instead of reacting to every provocation. It means your mood is not at the mercy of someone else's insult, or praise, or approval. A ruler who can be flattered into foolish decisions is not a ruler at all. Likewise, a man who can be angered into rashness is a man holding power he cannot keep. The truly confident understand that emotions are currency to be spent carefully, never wasted. Every display of rage, fear, or desperation tells your opponent exactly where to strike. And so, they keep these things hidden. Their calm face becomes a wall, their measured voice a mask. Behind it, their mind calculates, weighs, and prepares the next move. Consider the difference between a storm and a still lake. A storm is dramatic, violent, impossible to ignore, but it passes quickly, leaving destruction without purpose. A still lake, however, hides depth. It reflects everything around it, and no one knows what lies beneath the surface. That is true confidence. It is not a storm that demands to be seen, it is the silent depth that cannot be measured. Control also means knowing when not to act. The insecure man thinks he must prove himself every moment. The confident man understands that patience is a weapon. He will not rush to show his hand. He will wait until the ground is firm beneath his feet before he moves, and when he does, his steps are deliberate. You will notice the people who truly lead do not rush to speak when they enter a room. They take their time, they observe, they listen. They let the air shift around them until everyone else feels the need to earn their attention. This is not by accident, it is control in its purest form, the kind that bends the room to your pace, your rhythm, your will. Asterisk in the struggle for power, reality is secondary. What matters is not what you are, but what you are perceived to be. A man may possess strength, intelligence, even fortune, and yet remain invisible if others do not see him as worthy of respect. On the other hand, a man of lesser talent can rise to command armies if he masters the art of shaping how others view him. Perception is the battlefield where victories are decided long before the first strike is made. Understand this: people are not ruled by facts, but by the stories they believe. They do not care if your power is complete, only if it appears so. The confident man understands this and ensures that his image speaks for him even before his voice is heard. He is careful to never let uncertainty touch his expression, never let panic stain his tone. For the instant you appear shaken, they will sense it, and your enemies will move in like wolves scenting blood. This is why the truly confident act as if they have already won, even when the outcome remains uncertain. They walk with measured steps, speak with certainty, and occupy space as though it belongs to them. The mind of the crowd fills in the rest, assuming that such composure must be rooted in strength. Few will test it. Fewer still will survive if they do. A ruler, a commander, a leader in any domain must understand that perception spreads faster than truth. Rumors and impressions can destroy what reality has not even touched. A man might lose his crown not because he lacked the ability to rule, but because he looked as if he could be overthrown. The confident man, therefore, defends his image as fiercely as a fortress, guarding it against cracks, shadows, and careless displays of weakness. It is not enough to appear calm in the sunlight of victory. One must appear unshaken in the shadows of defeat. When chaos breaks out, when plans crumble, when all others panic, the one who remains composed becomes the anchor that all cling to. And in that moment, perception transforms into actual authority. People will follow him simply because he seems like the only one who knows what to do. Perception also allows a man to wield fear without cruelty and loyalty without generosity. If others believe you to be unmovable, they will hesitate to challenge you. If they believe you to be a source of opportunity, they will gather to you without you having to chase them. This is not deception, it is strategy. Even the most skilled general does not show his troops the doubt that may gnaw at him in private. He shows them only the mask of certainty, because that mask wins wars. Remember, the battlefield of perception is fought in every glance, every pause, every word you choose or refuse to speak. The truly confident man shapes these moments like a craftsman, aware that each one either builds his throne or undermines its foundation. And while others waste their strength fighting the visible war, he wages the invisible one, where victory is decided long before the sword is drawn. Men imagine that power is shown through words, through speeches, through the ability to command with a raised voice, but they forget. The most dangerous blade is the one they never see until it cuts. Silence, in the hands of the truly confident, is not emptiness, it is pressure. It makes others uneasy, forces them to fill the void with their own words, their own confessions, their own mistakes. In silence, men reveal far more than they ever intended. The insecure rush to speak because they fear being forgotten. They fill the air with explanations, defenses, and promises, believing that noise will protect them. But noise is nothing more than a trail of footprints for your enemy to follow. Every word you speak can be turned, twisted, and used against you. The confident man knows this and speaks only when the words themselves are a calculated strike. When you hold your tongue, you control the rhythm of the exchange. Others grow restless, impatient, even nervous in the presence of quiet. They begin to suspect you know something they do not. They try to read your expression, to guess your thoughts, and in that guessing, they expose their own fears. A single pause can be worth more than 100 sentences if it forces your opponent to stumble into the trap you have set. Silence also forces respect. A man who listens more than he speaks is often mistaken for being wiser than he is, simply because he does not reveal his ignorance. People assume that your quiet is a sign of deep thought, when in truth it may simply be a refusal to waste energy on words that do not serve your purpose. That assumption is power. It gives you the upper hand without you lifting a finger. But silence is not passivity. It is not the absence of action. It is action concealed. It is the hunter crouched in the tall grass, unseen but always watching. It is the general who lets his enemies argue amongst themselves, waiting until their unity shatters before he strikes. Silence allows you to see the board clearly while others are blinded by their own noise. Even in moments of confrontation, the confident man will let the other speak first and speak longest. He listens to every detail, every slip of the tongue, every crack in the armor, knowing that these are gifts freely given. And when he finally speaks, he chooses words that cut through all the noise, leaving no room for reply. His silence beforehand sharpens his words into weapons. In the courts of power, those who master silence command more than those who Master speeches, for speeches may inspire in the moment, but silence unsettles the soul. It lingers in the mind, making people question what you know, what you are planning, and whether you have already outmaneuvered them. A man who can use silence as a weapon does not need to shout to be heard. The absence of his voice will echo louder than the presence of another's. A blade that strikes without thought soon dulls. A ruler who acts without patience soon falls. In the pursuit of power, speed is often a weakness disguised as strength. The truly confident understand this. They are not driven by the hunger to prove themselves in every moment. They know that real power is not taken in a single leap. It is cultivated, secured, and then defended by the art of restraint. Restraint is the discipline to hold back when every impulse demands you move forward. It is the ability to see the bait and leave it untouched. The inexperienced rush into every opportunity, believing that movement itself is progress. They spend their energy chasing shadows, reacting to every challenge, answering every insult, and in doing so, they exhaust themselves long before the true battle even begins. The confident, however, conserve their strength. They strike not when the enemy is ready, but when the enemy has nothing left. This is why those who endure in power often appear slower to act than those who rise quickly and burn out just as fast. Restraint gives them control over the battlefield of time. They wait for the moment when the odds are so tilted in their favor that the outcome is nearly certain. And when that moment comes, their action appears sudden, decisive, and unstoppable, though in truth, it was planned long before the first move was made. Restraint is also the refusal to fight battles that do not matter. The insecure waste their strength in proving themselves to everyone, engaging in petty conflicts just to protect their pride. The truly confident are selective. They know that every battle leaves wounds, even in victory, and so they choose only those worth the cost. Every conflict they enter serves a purpose in the greater strategy, but the deepest form of restraint is over the self, to hold one's temper when insulted, to remain still when provoked, to resist the temptation of easy victories that lead to greater losses. It is this self-command that makes others hesitant to challenge you, for they see a person who cannot be manipulated, who will not be lured into mistakes by emotion. Such a person is dangerous because they are not playing the game others expect. They are writing their own rules. Even in moments of triumph, restraint remains the shield of the powerful. The insecure celebrate too loudly, revealing the extent of their gain and inviting envy and retaliation. The confident move quietly after victory, securing their position before others have even realized the balance of power has shifted. They understand that the most dangerous time for any leader is not before they win, but after, for it is then that enemies emerge from the shadows, seeking to strike while the victor is drunk on glory. Restraint protects against this. It allows the powerful to enjoy the fruits of victory without drawing unnecessary attention. It lets them prepare for the next challenge in silence, while their rivals waste their strength celebrating or mourning the last battle. Confidence is not the loud parade of self-importance. It is the quiet empire built on control, perception, silence, and restraint. The man who commands himself commands the world. Control keeps you unshaken in storms. Perception makes others believe you cannot be moved. Silence draws out the truths they would hide, and restraint ensures you choose only the battles worth fighting. These are not tricks. They are the architecture of lasting power. Most will spend their lives chasing the appearance of confidence, but the few who master these traits will not need to chase anything, for power itself will come to them.